going to be a record for lowest points scored. Maybe we can look that up while I continue here. The Rapists, 4-1, are going up against the...
Actually, it's 100. I know that off the top of my head.
And I think it was John and Phil.
It was John, and I don't remember who the other
I think it was Phil. I think it was. The Rapists, 4-1, going against the Boston Loggers, 2-3. That's a good North game there. The Senators, who are now 2-3, and kind of a rejuvenated team with Megatron, going up against the Pig Newtons, 4-1. Quite a rivalry here between these two squads. The Brutal Deluxe, 1-4, going up against the Hong Kong Cavaliers, sitting at 5-0. Again, in the midst of their longest winning streak of their franchise at 5. And lastly, the Yellow Peril, 2-3, trying to get back into it here, up against the 3-2 Soul Glow. Bub, anything to add? Game of the week, what do we got?
Man, this
pretty good slate of games.
Week
this week, right?
6
going to tell us a lot.
Is going to make or break a couple
like who?
coaches' seasons.
Like who?
I think if Ben loses,
I think he's done.
He's in a deep hole.
Almost done.
Deep hole. Same thing with the Senators. Playing 4-1 Pig Newtons. Ben is playing 4-1 Rapists.
Yep.
Both going 2-4 is tough to get out of.
So a game of the week, Bub?
I would pick. Let's see. I'm gonna go Loggers and Rapists because that's the first one I saw.
There it is.
Now it is time. Fucking right, it's time. So grab your balls and let's go. Coach's interview. Here we fucking go.
And now, on the Juice Family Restaurant Coach's Guest Hotline. He is the Dynasty Technology Analyst. He is a Dynasty Power Rankings article writer. When it comes to the internet, if Al Gore is the architect, then this son of a bitch is the oracle. He is coach of the 2-3 Yellow Peril, Coach Jae-Young Kim. Coach, thank you for being on the Dynasty Podcast.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Hi, Coach. This is Mr. Palucha. How's it going?
Hi, Mr. Palucha.
Hey. I'm sorry. These chimps are just getting at me.
We have chimpanzees here at Tom Berkman's
I'm a little
Trucking
befuddled and
Riverdale
flustered.
Studios. They're our factoid finder, and they escaped. And we had a bunch of trays at Kurt, and they're.
Anyway,
all over
Coach,
the
you had 4 third-round picks in this past draft. I believe you traded one of them. Is that correct during the draft?
That is right. Traded one to Mr. Brutal Deluxe. I believe you used it on DeMarco Murray.
Okay, so you had 4. You ended up with 3. You're currently sitting at 2-3 after eking out a win against the Loggers. What do you say to the people out there that say you fucked up your draft?
I mean, all I have to say is at least I'm not the handies, right?
Got him!
Oh, snap. Oh, snap.
No, it's true, right? Looking back on that, I had a pivotal pick. I think it was like the third or fourth pick of the third round. I had a decision to make between S-Jax and Matt Forte. I think at the beginning of the year, Atlanta was scheduled to have the number 1 easiest rushing schedule. So I went with S-Jax, and it really fucked me. There are no two ways around it. That fucked me. So.
Yeah, and S-Jax obviously has been injured and beat up, and Falcons certainly haven't been playing to their how they were supposed to play. But you never know. S-Jax could come back and could come back strong. We'll have to see about that. But, Coach, you are, in the midst of quite the skid. And spanning back to, I guess, Dynasty 8, which was your rookie season. But towards the end of that year, and then last year, and then this year, you've lost 18 of your last 23 games. You're now dead last in winning percentage here in Era 2 of all active teams. How much of it is your fault, and how much of it do you maybe blame on the fantasy gods?
I think it's a lot of both, right? Last year I started off weak, and I made the decision to Matt Whiffen pretty early, so I sold off my players for some picks, and so obviously the tail end, I think, was, on how you want to define it, but I'll certainly take the blame. This year, I would say my record so far is 100% my fault. I can definitely say I look back and I think the Matt Forte pick I think was a big mistake, and then obviously me playing Ray Rice and Bernard Pierce did not help me that much last week either.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Certainly a tough one. You had a bunch of guys really on your team currently who, I guess for the most part, have been underperforming. I think of guys like Cam Newton, Lamar Miller, Fitzy, T.Y. Hilton, up until this past week. Rumors have surfaced, Mr. J. Young, that there's a lack of leadership in the Yellow Peril locker room. Care to comment?
You know what? I think that's a valid point, right? We need some leaders to step up. You know, we don't want some stripper bottle to the head incident like the Ravens. So, you know, I'm just looking for a guy to step up. Surprisingly, right now it's the vet Fred Jackson leading the way for me. So, you know, hopefully he can turn back a crappy running back core right now. You know, I need some motivation.
Coach, you have you took Cam Newton pretty early. You ended up drafting RG3 a little later on. Both of them aren't really playing very well. What do you plan on doing with your QB situation? Are you just going to play the matchups, or are you potentially looking for a replacement?
It's a good point, right? So right now, I'd love to wheel and deal one of these guys. It had definitely been my plan early on. Right now, if I try and sell either of these guys, A, I don't know if there are any sellers, and then B, I'd be selling pretty low. So, you know, right now I'm planning on stashing both these guys. We'll see if I make a move for a QB. I think both of these guys are actually out of the top 15 QBs. So, you know, definitely something I'm considering right now. But you know, for now, I'm not getting rid of them. You know, they're definitely on the team to stay for the foreseeable future, and we'll see if they can give me some value, whether it's on my team or someone else's.
Excellent, and we already made the announcement, but you went ahead, you made yourself a trade for Mr. Maurice Jones-Drew with Handy Quacks. You traded David Givens' younger second cousin on his mother's side, Chris Givens, and you also, I believe, traded a 7th, and was it a 10th round picks, yes. I think it was. Well, you're obviously buying MJD a bit, you know, on the low side here, given his performance thus far. Hoping maybe this is the the motivation that he needs, and like you said, maybe bringing some leadership into your peril squad there.
I figure, I mean, Mojo, it's a buy low guy, right? So obviously both his left tackles are no longer on the team, so that's certainly pretty concerning. But I don't give up too much, and you know, this week with Steven Jackson on a bye and Lamar Miller on a bye as well, I kind of need a stopgap solution. So I think he has a decent matchup. We'll see if Jacksonville even sniffs the red zone against Denver. But you know, he's got a decent matchup statistically, and you know, he's got some okay matchups later on. So I figure buy low, stash him, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a position where you really can't afford to, you know, every game right now is big for you, sitting at 2-3. So now I do go ahead and I post every week who's going to be on the show here on Twitter. I did call out everyone, and actually Coach Matt Whiffen did go ahead and he submitted a question, so I want to thank Coach Matt Whiffen for stepping up and partaking here in this. And I actually got another question from Johnny C., a regular here, and that's great. I'm going to ask Matt's first. Matt tweeted us. He wants me to ask you, Jay Young, would you rather fight 1,000 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
I think that's pretty easy, right? Like, why would you not choose the 100 duck-sized horses? Are you
1,000? 1,000.
1,000. Look, all right. So my legs may get a little tired from doing a lot of curb stomping, but I think I can handle 1,000 horses. 1,000 duck-sized horses. A horse-sized duck. That sounds fucking terrifying, not gonna lie.
That would almost be like, I don't know, Marshawn Lynch coming up from behind you and railing you and raping
with his
you.
Coca-Cola-sized dick.
Yeah, and his Skittle-sized nuts.
Yeah, Skittles just stuffed in his mouth. That's